Yeah, man, every time you kill them in spawn, they end up flying off like rockets. I don't know what the deal is. Welcome to the Surroundead PermaDeath Part 8. If you're new to the series, some basic server info. Settings are on standard difficulty with a slight increase of 20% to zombie spawns and no backpack stacking. Today we're going to take on our first Horde beacon. This is new to me content. This wasn't out when I first initially played the game. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very similar to clearing an infestation with probably more waves than normal. With that though, we hope to have at least a little bit more difficulty, probably going to be a lot more bosses in total and probably more swarming. Likely going to have to defend it like a tower defense, so I do have a generator and a turret with me, so I'll plop that down. But right now I'm trying to figure out how to actually get this to a place where I can activate it. I was thinking that just right here up in the base, probably, I don't know, it might have been a really bad idea if that actually could be activated there, but I'm not sure how the spawns work when you actually get this to run, so we'll see how it goes. I thought initially that this was based off like a height thing, or maybe the walls, or maybe it's because I'm building on a bridge, but we do manage to, you see that car all the way over there, we do end up plopping this down on there. But if you guys have any tips or any rules on what is blocking this from being activated where it is, let me know because I have no clue. Looking pretty good on ammo. We have roughly, 3 magazines on the Crusher, including the one that's in the gun already, and then I believe 5 magazines of the Vector in total. We also have roughly, I think, 200 to 300 of each type of round, so we should be pretty well stocked and be able to reload the magazines as the rounds go by. My only tip is do not actually place this. I mean, it got it done, but I don't think the loot ended up getting meshed in the car, so that'd be my only tip, is to not put it on top of something, but maybe that is the meta way to do it, I don't know. Before I ended up starting this, I thought the spawns would be out in the forest and you could actually like have them come run at you, but they ended up spawning pretty much right on the beacon the entire time, so it got a little spicy here in a little bit. First wave was extremely easy as expected, but yeah, the zombie spawning right on my toes on top of the car kind of threw me off for a little bit. I feel like the second wave was actually easier than the first wave, especially in zombie quantity. It just seemed like there was a lot less going on. Maybe they just didn't fully spawn because of how the Horde beacon's set up. You're gonna actually start looting some of these bodies. They ended up having quite a bit of ammunition and explosives, so it's pretty useful actually. So this next wave coming up is a fun one. I think the spawns are just jank on using the Horde beacons. I'll have to use more and see how it goes, but yeah, the boss just pretty much no animation or nothing, no sequence of coming out of the ground. He's just up and ready. And look at that, also achievement for killing 10 bosses for a Steam achievement. Should have probably taken more time rather than just taking all on the inventory. I just really didn't want to get jumped mid-round for being a loot goblin. Killing some of these zombies as they're spawning in makes them like launch up like a little lawn dart. All right, wave 5, I believe I actually get chanced on this one because the zombie spawns behind me and starts clapping my back. Just started getting all wild with the windmill punches. I started to get pretty jumpy. I probably should have just started spamming heals, but I am still alive. Kicking off wave 6 with the double boss insta spawn. Would have been a little bit dicey if the second boss didn't get hung up on the car. I didn't know what this explosion here was. I thought it was just a big boss that was actually spawning further out. So I didn't notice until editing the video that it was just actually a world event that just popped in. All right, and for the 8th and final wave, got another boss zombie stuck on top of the car. So maybe this is the meta way to do it, is put it on top of a vehicle, but unfortunately I looked away, and the Horde beacon just explodes and pumps out loot everywhere. So there's a ton of bodies all kind of scattered across. There's a, purple helmet that was underneath the car that I couldn't grab, but overall, most of the loot did not get meshed underneath the car, so it turned out to be pretty useful, I guess. For those of you Surroundead veterans that are watching this, is the Dark Machete actually better than the Katana? The Katana has better range, but that Dark Machete swings really fast. I personally haven't been using it. But that concludes pretty much the whole Horde beacon. Not that difficult. I mean, maybe if you put it on flat ground, it is a lot harder. Overall loot was kind of trash. I mean, we got a small container and then that Dark Machete. So overall, gonna sell probably about 95% of all this loot. Will I do more Horde beacons in the future? More than likely. I just don't feel they're very beneficial right now. It would be nice to have more turrets. If you had like 2 or 3, or maybe 3 to 4, you could see whole zombies just getting turreted down, which would be nice. Overall, the XP grind was pretty good, but we're already getting close to maxing out our total level with all the skill points, so kind of pointless after that. I'm gonna speed this portion up quite a bit. There's a lot of me just doing looting and inventory management, so not that interesting, but we're gonna go ahead and test out that Dark Machete for a little bit and let you guys see. It does do a lot of damage and it does swing fast, but just doesn't have the reach that I want. Yeah, just the basic standing swing, you swing really quick, but the reach, you pretty much have to be, as you're chopping, moving forward into them. If I wasn't doing a permadeath life, I'd probably use it. The crouching overhead chop is really nice still, though. It's quick and pretty much gives enough stagger so that you can just keep on chopping. This is probably the main reason why I won't be using it, though, is the range trying to chop up the little crawlers. It's kind of annoying. You have to just pretty much be stomping them at that point. Now, this is the first time testing it against a big group. The stagger's nice, but you kind of have to, like I was saying before, you have to walk into them to keep chopping and getting the kill. But the stamina drain on it is nice. It barely drains any stamina, so you can just keep chopping for a good portion. Gonna go ahead and head on back to base, get some prep ready. Gonna go visit the store on the next part, kind of do some prep. We're gonna go to that secure container that is on the southwest. I believe that's where like the military camp is in the mountain, if I remember right. That is probably going to be the riskiest thing that we will be doing so far. Yeah, we got that secure container or quest point or location from that laptop that we got from killing the bandit boss on the bridge that almost killed us on the last part. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again back for part 9.